Hi there, this is Daniel and I'm standing next to my 1995 GMC YUKON. What a beauty. I recently had this problem. I was driving up a steep hill and I got the check engine soon light. So what I did is I connected it to a code reader, and it turns out that the EGR valve was causing the issue. But after changing the EGR valve, it actually got worse. Because, and I never had that before, when the engine would be hot and it would idle somewhere, let's say on red lights, or when going up a steep hill, and I would accelerate just a teeny tiny bit, it would start to stutter really badly. And once you accelerate faster, the problem would disappear. The problem was only when you accelerate a little bit. So like changing from the idle position to accelerating, it starts to stutter. Now I did probably what you have been doing. I Googled it. It turns out that there are a million things that can cause this. So I will show you how I solved the problem and what I exchanged that didn't do anything, but could also have been the problem. Have fun. Okay, when looking at this beautiful engine, you can see here, this is the EGR valve. And here you can see there's a pipe coming out, vacuum pipe. And the thing is that the valve, if you push it open and hold the hole at the same time, it should not fall down. But my EGR valve, the old one, it would just you would be able to push it up and hold the hole and it would just pop down again. So it was a goner. And here's my theory. Here is the EGR solenoid. It basically controls the EGR valve. And because the valve was bad, I figure that this EGR solenoid had gone bad. And when I only changed the EGR valve, it got worse because this guy was just, I don't know what it was doing. It was open the valve at a bad time, or just, yeah, it caused the whole stutter issue. But on the internet, I read that it could be the MAP, the MAP sensor. I exchanged that. I checked all these little vacuum lines. If anyone had a leak, it was not that. I checked this guy here that goes into the engine block. Read somewhere it's one of the most important parts of the engine. I've cleaned that. I exchanged parts of it. I'm waiting for the parts. That's why you can see that I've made this temporary adjustments here. I cleaned up this pipe here that goes into the carburetor bushing, or what this plastic thing is called. I cleaned everything up. I exchanged the air filter. I bought a new gas tank. I put in a brand new fuel pump, and two more things I want to show you underneath the car that I exchanged. So if you are looking for the fuel filter in these Yukons, you actually have to sort of climb underneath the vehicle, and somewhere here, boom. Here is the fuel filter that I had exchanged. And when you look underneath the vehicle here, you can see the exhaust system. And if we go a bit further under the car, I hope you can see this. This is the oxygen sensor. I'm told that it only does two things. It tells the computer whether the engine is hot or not. And I take it that this could also be the reason why you would have a problem, that the computer thinks the engine is cold, but it's actually hot. So I exchanged it. But none of these things made a difference. That's the thing. The engine would just keep on stuttering. So, like I said before, all I would have had to do was to exchange the EGR valve and the solenoid. Now, there is this one little thing I want to mention. Getting the EGR valve off of these engines can be a little bit of a pain. You need to remove the air filter housing and everything. And then I used a little 13mm wrench. Without that, it's really difficult to get to the bolt in the back. The one in the front that you can see here is pretty easy to get to, but without the ratchet, I would have been lost. So this is how the one that I used looks. I can change directions, left, right. It's a 13mm. I actually have US or British tools, but I had to use the metric system because this ratchet was small enough to get in the back there. The one that I have, the inch tools, is thicker, and I couldn't get it to fit. So yeah, after fixing these two things, the EGR valve and the solenoid, you can remove the solenoid by using a 7mm wrench to get the little bolt off. Then this unit basically falls off. You remove the electrical system, the wirings, and the two pipes, oxygen pipes. I read somewhere that makes sense to disconnect the battery. And last but not least, I read somewhere that you should disconnect the battery for 2-3 minutes. I actually left it disconnected for a whole night, hoping that the computer would reset, read everything new, and go back to normal. I thought I was going nuts. I exchanged parts that I didn't have to. I'm glad I did, because I want to keep this beautiful car. I really love this car. It's a beautiful car. It has 215,000 miles on it, which is approximately 350,000 kilometers. I don't think you can buy a car today that lasts this long. For me, this is really ecological. I want to keep this car running. It's a beauty. I love it. And that's why I didn't care changing all these things. I actually have some parts arriving soon that I will exchange, also connected to this issue. But since I solved it and I saw on the internet that you were looking for the same solution and you got like 1 million possibilities, what is wrong? I wanted to share this with you. I hope there are some guys out there that can say, no, Daniel, you know, the solenoid can't go bad if the valve doesn't work. Like my theory. Maybe it's just a coincidence. Maybe it could have been all of these parts. But this is how I solved it, and I'm just gonna read down what I changed. Okay, so I exchanged the EGR valve, I exchanged the MAP sensor, I exchanged the air filter, I exchanged the fuel filler neck because it was leaking. That had got nothing to do with the stuttering. I changed the oxygen sensor, and I exchanged the throttle body control. And like I said, for me it was these two things. So now we can all go back to living a normal life, listening to our cassette player, having fun in your old GMC YUKON, Chevy Blazer, Chevy Tahoe, whatever it is that you're driving that is having this problem. Try to exchange these two parts. I hope this works for you and that you're happy. Comment, give it a like. Nice seeing you. Take care, guys.